Hi, conscious mothers. I hope you can hear me all right. I am coming today to talk with you about what's really going on when you have difficulty trusting. It's something that is in my awareness lately, and I keep having conversations, profound conversations with women around this topic where when you feel that you need to be guarded a lot, when you need to defend yourself and kind of keep your mask on or keep your armor up, because the evidence that is in your life is stacked so high. And here's what it usually sounds like or looks like. I cannot trust my husband or my wife. I cannot trust my partner to do the things that I need them to do or want them to do. I can't even ask because it will be so disappointing when it doesn't get done. And so I have to just do it myself. And it makes you mad, and you hold the anger, and you try to not feel it or try to let it go, but it stockpiles, right? You know what I'm talking about. You can notice if it's stockpiling because your energy is draining out. You're exhausted. You drag around. You dread the day. You dread those interactions. You dread asking for what you want and need. You dread seeing more evidence that the people in your life are not trustworthy. You might also feel it with your kids. You might feel like, I cannot trust my kids to do anything. And often we don't think of that as a trust issue, but maybe more until they get to teenagers. And then it definitely falls into that ballpark during adolescence of, I can't trust my kids to make good decisions, or I doubt that they will really let me know if something's going on. So there's doubt, there's second guessing, there's a lot of fear in that. So, and we may feel it when our kids are younger too. They are not going to do what I ask them to do. They're not making good decisions. I can't trust my partner with my children. That's a big one that I hear a lot. Okay, so when trust is a barrier, trust is a block. It's hard for me to trust. It's hard for me to open up. What we feel when we go looking, hi, beautiful ladies. I see you coming on to say hi. Thank you for saying hi. What we feel is a wall on the heart. We feel that our heart is blocked. And you may not identify it that way, but if you were to slow down enough, what you would find is that you have shut down a part of yourself. And there are many reasons for it that make sense, that are all good reasons. When we were little and things felt unsafe, we needed to do what we needed to do in order to protect ourselves. So you got to love on you and that part of you. But what happens as we grow bigger, older, we want to expand more. We want to remember how it feels to be free. Or we want to know for the first time how it feels to be free. We want to be able to enjoy our kids, and now this is in the way. Yay, Amy's here. Hi, Amy. So when that lack of trust is in the way, and when that sort of wall is on our hearts, and we try to push through and just open up to trust or open up to be vulnerable, we can't. We can't do that from where we are. There's too much evidence stacked. There are too many self-protective mechanisms in place to just suddenly kind of flip that switch and begin to trust in a deep way and open up to being supported. And so the support doesn't show up. It doesn't come in. If you may have noticed, from being angry and from feeling like the pattern is in place that your partner's not going to show up for you and doesn't get you and is tuning out all the things that you're wanting and needing. From that place, it doesn't happen that overnight you go, hey, how about you help me with this? And suddenly your partner leaps into action with respect and love and connection. We can't be in trusting connection if we are living in disconnect and separation and self-doubt and fear. Are you with me? So this topic is on my heart to bring to you because I see women really struggling deeply, feeling so alone in this place of not being able to trust anything or anyone. And if you're there, and if this speaks to you, then I want to let you know that the solution is not that your partner suddenly becomes trustworthy in and of himself or herself. That is not the solution. The solution also is not that your children suddenly start listening, whatever that means, start following directions. That also is not the solution. When we have trouble trusting, remember I said it's for good reason. I'm just moving I don't have anything to prop my phone up on, so let me adjust this. Okay. When we have trouble opening our hearts, when we have trouble trusting, it's for good reason. And so within the solution, there is a need to come into compassion for that part of ourselves that was hurt, and to come into appreciation for how we got where we did. And to do that, you really need to work with somebody. Sorry. You just do. We can't skip over that piece and be like, I got it. I understand it up here. I got it. It's sacred. We're complex beings, and it's a sacred relationship between our hearts and minds and our soul. And when that comes into alignment, into coherence, that's when the body can stop screaming at us with pain and tension and autoimmune disease. It's when we stop fighting with our partners. We don't need to. There's nothing there that we need to extract or to force. We can stop yelling at our kids because we're not boiling over. We're actually in a really peaceful connection with ourselves. And the biggest key that I'm talking about today, in terms of having that kind of ease within yourself that flows into relationships and shifts them from angry and disempowered or out of balance into trusting and connected, is trust. And it's not trusting the other person with no good reason to trust them. It's you trusting you. And that is the key. That part of the solution is coming into deeply trusting ourselves. And to deeply trust you, you have to know you. And there's no shortcut for that. In order for me to trust me, that I make amazing decisions, that I always know which path to take to lead my family to health and well-being, that I know which decisions to make room for to cultivate my next level of purpose, living my purpose, my next level of success or ease or comfort. That in order to elevate my marriage, I have to be clear on what I want. So I have to trust that I know all of those things and will know when the time is right how to take action on those. And that isn't something that we can just force ourselves into or sort of, snap into. It is a deep process of coming into knowing you so that you can take ownership of you. And a piece of that is releasing all the junk, all the old patterns, all of the mistrust, all of the pain and all of the hurt that is creating the imbalance that's here now, that is making it hard and scary for you to trust something bigger than you. And it begins within us. So I know from my deep studies and learning and practice and experience over the last, I want to say 5 years of going really deeply on the path that I'm on of expansion. And I know it's been a lot longer than that coming, but over the last 5 years, really trying to crack open those deeper layers of what trust means. Because with trust comes surrender. And what we have to know is we are connected to the energy of all living things. And without getting too out there and woo-woo about it, I know that when I stand in a forest, I can feel something different than what I feel standing in a big city crowded with people. And if you are aware at all of how you feel, you'll notice this too. Start to notice, how do you feel when you are in your house full of people? And how do you feel when you are alone in a forest? What is the difference that you are perceiving? That is energy. And our energy is everything. And so if we are not tending to our energy, trusting how we feel, using that as our guidance and valuing how we feel, then we're going to feel lost. We're going to feel angry. We're going to feel focused on others and pissed off at other people and resent them. And the big juicy nugget here of all of this is that the price you pay to allow other people and circumstances to have control over how you feel. Control over how you feel. So other people's choices, other people's behaviors, and other people might be anyone in your house or any random driver on the road or person in the line at the supermarket. It could be any of these things. If you are bothered by other people, you're letting them control how you feel. If you're bothered, if you're disturbed, if you're annoyed with other people, if you're resentful of them, then you are allowing them to control how you feel and what mood you're in and what's possible for you. It's all connected. And so if you want to get beyond that, then you have to get beyond whatever in your past is holding you back that created that nonsense, right? And the thing I want to say is we can all do it. It's possible for all of us. There is nothing that stands in our way other than our own clarity that we don't want to stay stuck. There's nothing that stands in our way other than our own decision to stop tolerating the level of struggle that we have been tolerating and fighting with and trying to ignore for so long. When we get sick enough of it, then we will realize that we have free will and that we can choose to stay in something and keep creating it the same way, or we can choose to shift it and learn how to take the steps out of creating struggle and out of creating overwhelm and into ease, aligning, relaxing with joy, with connection. And it all begins with trusting ourselves and our connection to something bigger. So I love you so much, and I hope that this reaches whoever needs to hear it today. Please do tell me what you heard or what you have questions about. Ask me anything. Drop it below this post. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And if you haven't reached out to me for a clarity call, then I also encourage you to do that. I had a couple of no-shows, actual no-shows today. This is something my mind can hardly wrap itself around, like asking for help and then just disappearing on yourself about it. And I get it. I understand. There's a wish that I would be able to make space for me, but I don't know how yet, and I can't. And so don't reach out to me if you're there. Don't take a spot that somebody else can use, please. Don't reach out to me because of a wish. But if you are really ready to find out what's here for you, to get clear on what's the best next step for you, it could be that I can help you solve the problem that's going on for you. Or it might be that it's not yet, in which case I will point you to what will help you. So let me know what your questions are. Post them below. Hi, ladies. Thanks for your comments. Awesome. Lots of love to you. I'm off to another call. Let's just fingers crossed that this mama makes space for her. And I'm going to show up to love her. You guys have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.